I just want to share a few housekeeping items. This will be recorded and sent to attendees. Please make sure your audio is muted. If you have any questions during the presentation, please put your questions in the chat box. Questions will be addressed at various times during the presentation. At this time, I'd like to introduce Indu. Is it Jaya Kumar?
Yes, it
Right?
is.
Okay,
Yeah.
Jaya Kumar. I remember last time I pronounced it wrong. I'm so sorry. Who's the instructor for today's webinar.
All right. Thank you. Thank you, Cynthia. Thank you, everybody, for joining SBDC presentation at 1 p.m. in the afternoon. I know probably you've all had lunch and, a little bit drowsy. And I will try my best so that you guys do not fall asleep. Okay. So what did you register for? Sometimes people forget what really they registered for in SBDC. You all registered for this seminar or Zoominar called Online Marketing. And what is this about? Here, you're going to learn to market your products and services on the web. This is not about social media marketing. This is not about, search engine optimization on your website. This workshop will show you how Google looks at your business and rates you as a business owner and the products and services you are offering. Why is SBDC giving you this presentation? Because there are enough YouTube videos on how to market your business on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram, on search engine optimization, all these topics. There are plenty of YouTube videos that you can watch actually. But to understand the basics before you get into marketing, you do need to understand how Google looks at your business. Why? Because even if you're doing the marketing yourself, or even if you're hiring some other outside vendor, you still need to be educated on how the platform works. About 90% of the people are going to be searching for your business and the services that you offer or the products that you offer on Google. There is Bing and there is DuckDuckGo now, but unfortunately, very few people use those platforms. It's still Google. Ask anybody, they would, when they want some service or some product, they still go to Google. So as a small business owner, you might as well learn how Google works before you jump in and start marketing. So that really is the purpose of this SBDC course class. Okay, moving on. So SBDC, this particular Alameda County SBDC is part of Ohlone College, and we are also a FEDA sponsor, which means that Food and Entrepreneurial Training Academy. So if you are in the food sector, it can be human food sector or the pet food sector. General, it's a $1 trillion market, as you all know. You should take some wonderful training programs available at Ohlone College. So if you are in that sector, be sure to check us out, okay? And as you know, Alameda County SBDC is part of the Greater NorCal SBDC. This is a national program. And you do have resources nationally, actually. So if we are not able to help you with some particular item that you really want, we should be able to refer you to other SBDCs so that you do get the help as a small business owner. Okay. And Ohlone College is also it's a community college and it has a career center. So as a small business owner, we help you hire people. We help you if you're looking for interns. So please use us and do spread the word in the community as well. Ohlone Tri-City Career Center is the host of SBDC Alameda County. Like I was saying, we work with our talented clients and students. There are many students looking to work with you. So contact us and we will help you. Disclaimer, this presentation is for educational purposes only. So make sure that it's for educational purposes only. So now moving on quickly into the presentation, a little bit about myself. My name is Indu Jayakumar, and I am a business advisor with Alameda County as well as Santa Clara County. And I love talking to interesting people who make a difference in our communities. So if you have something very interesting that you are working on, be sure to contact me. And I would love to talk to you. We do have a podcast, and we would love to showcase you on that podcast so the world knows about you. Okay. So SBDC, many of you may know about SBDC already, but for those of you who do not know about SBDC, what do we do here? We work mainly with the very small businesses. Even though it says small businesses, we work with micro businesses actually, because 85, 90% of the people who contact us are all micro businesses and sole proprietors. That means they have like up to 2 to 3 employees, maybe maximum up to 5 employees. So those are the typical clients of SBDC. And if you know any business owner who needs help, please spread the word about SBDC, because it's a fantastic program right here in Alameda County for you. And there is no charge for this actually. So make use of us. What do we do? If you need research regarding the sector that you're working in, if you do need research regarding your competition, we help you with that. We have business advisors who will help you. If you need marketing help, yes, marketing is a huge part of any business actually. And yes, it is a bit too much for small business owners to learn all about marketing, but there is help right here in SBDC, and we will help you. And certification, what is certification? If you're a woman-owned business, if you're a minority-owned businesses, their business, there are certifications available for you. Why would you get this certification? Because there are companies out there, big corporations like Facebook, like Google, like let's say Intuit, any of these tech companies or the biotech companies or the governmental organizations here like pseudo governmental organizations like the San Jose Water or PG&E, they all have contracts set aside for women-owned companies and minority-owned companies. So unless you're certified, you will not be able to apply for these contractual opportunities. So it's a good idea to get educated yourself on these certifications. And we have business advisors who will help you with that. And business growth, there will always be a time in your business after you start the business. How do you grow your business? Now you're stuck. Can somebody help me? That's when you call SBDC also. And business continuity. Sometimes it gets lonely working in your business. Who do you ask? Who do you go for help? That's also when you contact us. Now, the big item in SBDC is capital. There will come a time when your business will need money. Who do you go and ask for money? SBDC is part of SBA also, and we have resources that can help you with capital. So don't get frustrated if you do not work with your bank or your bank said no, just call us and we may be able to help you. Okay. If you have any questions, just type it up in the chat. It's hard for me to look at the chat, but Cynthia here is looking at the chat box and she will ask questions for you. Okay. So the goal of SBDC is economic impact. Like I was telling you that we help you with capital, and once we give you money, we know that you're going to hire in our county, and that's called economic impact. And we do want you to hire through your business in Alameda County. So contact us. So what are we going to be doing? What are we going to do today? The agenda, introductions, and objective overview. I'm going to let you all introduce yourself to me because I would like to know the type of people listening to this presentation. That way I will be able to customize some of the items to your situation. And then I will go over what is online marketing. How does Google work? Here, I am going to make this big assumption that you already have a website. Okay, if you do not have a website and you're still working on that, contact us. This is still a good presentation for you, but there are other presentations for you, which is more about websites. How much should you be spending on a website, and what are the types of social media marketing? That it is not, I'm not going to go over those kind of things in this presentation, okay? Because I'm going to go over the basics of how Google really works, because it is important for you to understand how the platform works before you can market on that platform. Google punishments. Many people call us and ask us, I'm not anywhere on Google. How come Google removed some of the posts that I put in? Is that a Google punishment? Maybe. So I will be going over that too. How do you work with Google regulations? Yes, there are numerous Google regulations that you should know about and you should be educated on. So I will be going over that also, and we will wrap up. And you don't have to wait until the end to ask questions. You can ask questions anytime. Okay, that way we make it more interactive. So let's go over some introductions here. You may be a business owner already, or you may be thinking of a business idea, or you may be the marketing person working for a company. So introduce yourself briefly and tell us why you're here, and maybe you have a specific question. So be sure to ask that specific question also to us. So Cynthia, do you want to call out some names?
Sure. Let's start with Andre. Andre Pendergast. Oh, I don't think. All right. So let's do Sandy Hutchins.
Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Well, my husband and I have, I don't know if you can see if I put up to the camera. Where's my camera?
It's not very clear. It's kind of fuzzy.
It's not clear. Okay. But my husband and I are Mr. and Mrs. Claus every Christmas.
All right. How fun.
And we go around the community, and we've just never made it a business at that for the last several years. And so we never charged, just people gave us donations for what we do. And so we decided to take it one step further, and we have a business license and an occupational permit in our home. We're working on some business cards, and the next step, of course, is a website. We don't have a website, and we're looking into that. So I'd be interested in any webinars and information on that.
Okay. Or call us, and one of the advisors, possibly me, will work with you on the website.
Oh, that would be great. That would be great. So anyway, it's just small. It's not like we're going to hire a lot of people, because it's just me and my husband, of course. But we just love doing it, and we get several calls to go into different places, and
that is wonderful. Wonderful. Yeah, so be in touch with us, contact us after the presentation, and I'll work with you.
Okay, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
All right, thank you, Sandy. Let's go to Caroline Masters.
Hi, I'm Caroline Masters from Fremont. I happen to be a business sales and marketing business development professional, but I've never done it with my fine art. Some of my work is behind me. I do fused glass tables and other fine art pieces, and I'm preparing to launch a business. I've already got the website isn't up yet, but I have found a platform specific to fine artists that has everything built into their platform. They have all the tech people and everything else. So that's,
right.
and they also help with marketing and everything. And I've been taking classes on digital marketing, et cetera. I was interested in your course because it's specific to small business, et cetera. And I'm always trying to learn more about
good.
what can be done. And again, with the pandemic and everything, there's so much more online. So I've been learning about doing Facebook, very, very targeted Facebook ads and some other things too. But you can never learn enough about this, and things are changing all the time.
It is an ocean.
crazy.
Yeah, very
It's
good.
crazy.
Very good. Thank you.
Okay, let's go back to Andre. Andre, did you want to share about your business? All right, moving on. Cindy?
Hello, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yep, we can hear you.
Oh, okay, sorry. This is Andre, and I have a business already. It's on Shopify e-commerce website, and it's called Splendid Notes. And we've been making note cards and beautiful designs, but I need some help with marketing. I've done a little bit of marketing, but I'm not really a big fan of Facebook. Sorry. Google is great, and so is Pinterest. But I'm just wondering, do I really need Facebook? And do I need Instagram to be successful? And what should I be targeting as far as social media goes? Because there's a lot of them. Pretty much that's it on how to get the word out about your business.
All right. Thank you. Thank you, Andre.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, let's go back to Cindy. Cindy, no? All right, Danya?
Hi, can you hear me?
Hi.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Hi. Thanks for having this webinar. It's my I think second time attending one of these. I'm interested in marketing. I'm starting a civil engineering and traffic engineering consulting business, and I'm working on my website, and I know it's going to tie really closely to marketing once it's set up. I don't have, for engineering consulting, like someone mentioned, social media. I think like LinkedIn would be a really good one for me to set up. And that's like a form of marketing in this industry, as well as I'm excited to learn more about Google today.
Excellent. Thank you.
Thanks.
Gina Lewis.
Hello.
Hi.
How are you guys?
Very good. Thank you, Gina.
Great.
Good. I am not currently in business, but I am researching or trying to get more information on my idea. And it's pet food and accessories. And marketing is prime to putting dollars in the pocket. So I am interested to know as much as I can about Google and resources for additional information and finding out more on Google, and then picking the right platform for the pet industry
Very
specifically.
good. Very good.
That's all.
Good industry
Thank
to
you.
be in. Yeah, pet industry is like $1 trillion industry. So there's place for everybody. Good for you. Thank you.
Isaac?
Hello, I'm Isaac. I'll make the lights in my face. Okay. I'm the owner of Clavico. I make handcrafted candles. This is kind of just where I'm starting, but I'm continuing to develop as I progress and create more products. But right now, this is a project I've been taking on for a year. But right now, I'm also formulating a business plan for a outsourcing company where I really want to help local creatives who aren't as business oriented really define their brand. So I'm just here to learn more about Google so I'm better educated to assist people.
Very good. Very good. Thank you.
All right. Jeremy?
Hi, my name is Jeremy Dutra. I'm the Marketing Outreach Coordinator with Mandela Partners. We're an Oakland-based nonprofit that seeks to support limited resource communities with providing more food access points and small business development. I'm attending the workshop because I help with business advising side of our work, and so understanding a little bit more about how I can support the small businesses that we work with.
Okay. Well, thank you, Jeremy.
Next is Kira.
Hi, I work for a small business that does summer and school break camps for kids. And then I also own my own small business doing knitting and crochet patterns, kits, classes, and events.
Okay.
And I maintain the websites for both of those.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you. Let me see here. I have Chris. Chris Capadier.
Oh, hi. Sorry about that. I'm a retired entrepreneur and I try to help people. And at present, I'm trying to help somebody in the insurance business. So I wanted to learn something about the news. Okay, sorry about that.
No
So I was
problem.
learning, I want to learn about the ways of marketing in insurance business.
All right.
And maybe I can learn something and help this individual.
All right. Thank you, Chris.
Thank
I
you.
have, oh, you're welcome. I have Megan. Megan Souza. All right. Let's move on to Nancy Mueller. Nancy.
Sorry about that.
Oh, there you go.
I work at a small winery part-time, mostly from home and in the Livermore Valley, and do their marketing. And I also I have a small business of my own. I live on my family's ranch and I sell grass-fed beef.
All right.
And I went through your food program, one of the food programs, and it was amazing. And I've taken a number of your workshops and they've all been really, really helpful. I've been in I was in marketing for probably 20 some odd years, but then was let go and decided to just go out on my own. So I do contract work now, but trying to keep up with marketing is impossible. It's impossible.
Oh, I know. Tell me about it.
It's impossible. So it's so encouraging to be able to get up to date information, because I'm not up to date with Google, and need to know what other things we can do on our website that would be helpful. I did take 2 or 3 website classes from you that were awesome. So encourage everybody to keep taking classes.
Yes.
Absolutely. Question, Nancy, do you have a website now, and are you selling the grass-fed beef?
So I haven't sold any for 2 years, and I'm just getting ready to again. And last time I only sold on Facebook and Instagram to people I knew. I didn't do any paid advertising, but I have more this year, and it's gotten more complicated. The industrialized agriculture makes it almost impossible for a small business to be able to process beef. Our food system is such a wreck. Food system is a train wreck. And so so my sisters and I have a website, 3 Calhoun Sisters. And so I'll probably put the beef on there this year. Probably within a month or 2, once I find somebody who can actually process the beef for me, because in 2 years it's become inaccessible.
Yikes.
Mm.
Well, if you have that website, if you can put it in the chat for us to look.
Oh, okay, I will.
Thank you.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Or just your contact information too.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Thank you very much.
Yes,
By
please.
the way, guys, this is also a networking forum. See, that was wonderful, actually. So that's exactly what we are looking for. Ask, whatever it is that you're looking for, tell us about your business. So you never know, your next client may be right here. So go ahead, Cynthia.
Next, I have Sandy Hutchins.
Oh, I already shared
She
about
did.
Oh, I
Yeah,
did.
she did.
Oh.
Yeah.
Whoops, sorry. Stacy Johnson.
Hi, everyone. I'm Stacy Johnson, and I'm in the process of starting a publishing company that is geared toward women of color. I don't have a website yet. I'm really just getting started and figured I better get some foundation under my feet before I launch. So I'm happy to be here.
All right. Thank you, Stacy.
All right. Victoria Eli.
Yes, it's Victoria Ely.
Ely, I'm sorry.
So, no problem. My name is Victoria Ely, and I've also taken a workshop with Indu before COVID, so it's been a
All
while.
right. Thank you.
Yes, keep up the amazing work that you all are doing.
Thank you.
I'm the founder of Khalifa Consulting. It's a holistic education consultancy, and we offer holistic healing services. Before COVID, we were doing them more in person with high schools and universities. Khalifa Consulting is a women certified business. And so we were able to be in person with our holistic healing services, from teaching mindfulness to womb healing to all things around mental health in the high schools and universities. And then COVID hit, and so now we've been doing things more online, offering online classes and trainings to a similar demographic. In addition to now, we're offering wellness tours and retreats and cultural exchange programs with educators and healers based in California with our community in Ghana, West Africa. And so we're offering these during the winter vacation and the summer vacation when our clientele, mostly teachers, have a lot of time off. So you can find our information at khalifaconsulting.com or on Instagram, Khalifa_consulting. C as in California. Our business is based off of the woman that California is named after, Queen Khalifa. So that's CALIFA, Khalifa
Wow.
Consulting.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you.
All right. And then Rudolph Brown, he typed what his company is in the chat box. He says, I'm Rudolph. My company name is Stuff Haulers. We haul stuff. We provide sustainable junk removal services and furniture installation services. Think 1,000 new beds that need to be installed at a college dormitory. Website is www.stuffhaulers.com, and he has his Instagram and LinkedIn at Stuff Haulers. And yeah, that's what he wrote. So he put it in the chat box. So if you guys want to link up with him, his information is there. And I guess, let's see, where did I leave off? Did I hit Stacy Johnson yet?
Yeah, you did.
I did? Okay. Yan Lu? No? Okay.
Hello, can you hear me?
Oh,
There,
yeah.
there you
Yeah,
are.
sorry. Yeah. Hi, I have a small business. I carry local artists' work in Oakland, Piedmont Avenue. I have a website set up already about 2-3 years ago. So what I mainly want to get up from the workshop is how to do a bigger picture of marketing, set up the marketing strategy, and then learns how to do marketing campaigns, how to do local marketing rich.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh,
Thank you, Jan.
Jan, if you could put your website in the chat, that would be wonderful. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
And so the next is Zelima Johnson or Zelma Johnson. Oh, you're on mute.
There we go. I'm Zelma Johnson. The name of my business is To Live Dream University, doing business as Destiny by Design. We are a educational platform. We deal with self-care and we have self-care products. Basically, we're just getting to the point of launching. We have been doing this as a free process, and we're now switching over to a business process. So far, we do have Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, LinkedIn, and we do have a website, but no traffic. So I do need to learn more about marketing or Google and social media marketing. And so far, I have been making a flop at it. So I do need guidance in that particular area.
All right. Thank you. Thank you for joining us.
All right. If I missed anybody, feel free to come off mute. I think I got everyone though.
All right. Okay. So thank you everybody for introducing yourself and talking about your business. One of the main things in being a business owner is you cannot be shy, and you should know how to showcase your business in 30 seconds or less to an audience. That's a very important skill that you should work on, because people have short attention spans. And also, as small business owners, you're all salespeople. You're all here to learn about marketing, but marketing and sales kind of goes hand in hand. And in reality, all of you are salespeople also. So whatever sales skills that you can learn along the way and put on your sales hat to grow your business, it's always good. Okay. So the course objectives for today. So by the end of this class, basically, it's really not a course, but it's more of a class. You will be able to understand Google search AI. What is AI? It's artificial intelligence. And why is artificial intelligence, why is it so important? Understand how content is picked up by the searches. If somebody is searching for your business, if somebody is searching by the name of your product, how does Google pick your website? Okay, I will be going over that. Understand the various ways to create Google regulated content. Is Google regulating your content? It absolutely is, actually. I think you all know that already, and it's important to learn how it's regulating. There is a book called How Google Works. It was written by Eric Schmidt and Jonathan Rosenberg. It's on Amazon. I think it's a very good book. It can be a little bit technical. So if you're not technical, those parts may be a little bit boring, but you can skip those parts if you are not that technical. But you will get a good overview of how Google started and why the way it has grown, it kind of affects all of us, especially we as small business owners. We are kind of totally dependent on this one platform. Whatever marketing that you do on Facebook, whatever marketing that you do on Twitter, whatever marketing that you do on any other platform out there, most people still go to Google, even if you're marketing on TikTok, for instance, right? Interestingly, a lot of people are watching these TikTok videos on YouTube because YouTube made a deal with TikTok, and now it's showing all those TikTok videos on YouTube. You would have noticed that already. YouTube is owned by Google. So like all roads lead to Rome, whatever it is that you do, you kind of have to come back to Google. That's when we decided, okay, it is very important for our Alameda County small business owners to learn about Google. We want you to be educated so that when other people ask you about it, you know, you will be well informed. You will be well informed before you hire the vendors who are going to be helping you in marketing in your business. You may not be able to do all this stuff yourself. It's just not practical sometimes, but knowledge is always good. Okay, so that's what you're going to be learning today.
Question, and that book by Eric Schmidt, etc. How old is that? Do you know?
It is, it's at least about 10 years old.
Okay. Yeah,
but
so,
it has some good content in there. Yeah. Okay.
thank you.
Okay. So how does the Google algorithm works? You have all heard about this word algorithm. What is this algorithm, right? It's basically computer code. That's all it is. And this computer code that the wonderful smart people in Google developed, how many lines of code are there? Literally, there are millions and millions and millions of code that has already been written. And is this under lock and key? And do you know which code is running, which hour and which day? Nobody knows. Okay, why am I saying that? Because today when you search, let's take an example here. Let's take this example of pet food. The lady who wanted to start the pet food business, right? Let's say that you're searching for dog food in the little search bar in Google. There might be a list of companies that show up for this particular dog food that is being sold by these companies. 3 hours from now, if you search again for dog food, it's very likely that some other companies might show up. The same companies may not show up. Why is that? Was there an algorithm shift? Yes, there was. So it is in Google's best interest. It doesn't show the same companies on this first page over and over again. Why? Because all the marketing companies out there would figure out, okay, this is how Google works, all the big companies especially. PetSmart and all these large companies are the ones which will keep coming over and over again. All the small business owners would be left behind. That's not good from a Google point of view. So that's a reason there's so many different criteria that goes into this search result. When somebody is looking, it can be personalized to them also. Google already knows, it's learning. The artificial intelligence is learning about every human being, the way they search. They already know that Indu Jayakumar does not have a pet. And when she is searching for pet food, Google immediately will be wondering, okay, why is she searching for pet food? Maybe she's looking for a pet. So it'll try to learn more and more, thinking, you know, okay, either she's looking for a pet or she's going to gift this pet food to somebody else. So that's kind of how the algorithm works. And this algorithm updates, as they call it, they keep changing it continuously. So Google is continuously tweaking and making small changes, but occasionally they make systemic changes. I'm going to lose you guys here. They name it under words like pigeon and rank brain and bird, right? Don't worry about those names. These are programmers who give these names for these updates. Doesn't matter what names they give it actually. But with bird, the latest change, some of you may know, is Google ranks pages based on the topics and ideas behind search queries. So as a result, keyword stuffing. What is keyword stuffing? I'm going to go over that a little bit later. It's an outdated and ineffective strategy. So previously, what we used to do was pick out all the keywords. Let's take pet food as an example again. When you are selling dog food, what are all the search words that people may be searching for when they're looking for dog food? They might put in the species of the dog and then type in the food actually. So let's say it's a Pomeranian, you know, it's a German Shepherd dog food. So those are all keywords that pertains to this particular dog food, but that has changed. So it's not like that anymore. So how is it right now? So content creators, which is either the business owner or the marketing person who is working with your business, they should focus more on providing valuable content that appeals to their target consumers. That means just educate the people. Tell us what type of dog food and which brand of dogs that's going to be consuming this food. What does this food contain? Does it contain more protein than other foods? Just educate. Okay, so that's all Google wants you to do, because they're saying that they have enough artificial intelligence in their code to pick out your business. If you give the content properly, it'll give it to the right target market. Okay, that's how it has changed.
Okay, quick question. So basically their artificial intelligence algorithms are sophisticated enough so they're dealing with whole phrases and concepts and everything.
Exactly.
And instead of what it was before. And BERT stands for, do you remember?
I don't remember what it stands for.
I know,
just Google it.
Yeah, and I know the original algorithm was called PageRank. And
yes.
I think it was because of it was Larry Page.
Larry Page.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got it. Yeah, so but that has been evolving. And why is it evolving to more phrases and more content that pertains to the actual educating of the consumer? That's because of all the voice searches that are coming out. As you all know, Alexa has already come out with a robot that is going to be running around in the house. I can bet on you the Google robot is going to be coming soon. By Christmas, I think, you know, so there will be a robot running around in everybody's homes. And besides Alexa and besides OK Google, besides Siri, people are going to be talking to these devices. And when they talk to these devices and say, hey, I would like to order some pet food, they should be able to go. There's still only one database. Remember that Google has created this huge database, and these robots are basically searching from this database. Even Alexa, it goes to the Google database and it searches. Even Siri, it goes to the Google database and it's searching. So you need to understand how Google is archiving your business under which category. Only then you would be able to build your website in a proper manner. And once you build a website, the content you write on the website, you would be able to do it more intelligently once you understand how the platform works. Okay. So Google penalties. Let's talk about Google penalties. Are there Google penalties? Yes. Will Google punish you? Yes. What is the URL that you go to see if Google has punished your website or your business in any manner in the form of content that you threw out there? So this URL that I have here, you do not have to write that down because this presentation is going to be shared with you. So don't worry about it. It is search.google.com/search-console, the search console as we call it. So it's called the search console. So you should actually be familiar with this particular search console. And if you ever see a drop in traffic in your website, and it happens all the time. Somebody was telling me in this group actually that they hardly have any traffic in their website. Why is that? Did Google penalize you for something? Why did they penalize you? You need to know. Some people don't even know that they've been penalized actually. So that's the site you go to find out. You would have received a manual action report in the Google Search Console. Why would you receive that? Because you went and put in your name and you went and got an account, which is free in this Google Search Console, and you put in your website so that Google can figure out if you've set up the page correctly, or if there are problems in the site where Google is going to penalize you. Okay, this is called, we call it lovingly the Google police. So Google is policing your site and you need to know that. Okay. And I will go over how do you rectify that just in case you have been penalized. Will Google humans check your website? Absolutely. Who are the Google humans? Who am I saying the Google humans, right? Google hires people around the world. I personally know about 2 or 3 people who work for Google. Their job is to basically look at various websites and make sure that they are not saying things on the website that they are not supposed to. So these are all human beings besides the machines looking at your website pages. So Google also employs an army of human reviewers to manually review and flag websites. Once Google flags your website, you do get a black mark. And if your website gets a black mark, you will not come up on the searches. Your website will not come up on the searches when people are looking for your services. Okay. Despite their best efforts, there are still many websites that slide through the algorithms, but still don't meet quality standards of Google. You may ask me, okay, that particular website, I know that person, they have done so many wrong things on their website and they still come up on the searches. How come my website is not coming up on the searches? That's a very standard question that everybody asks. Yes, somehow it slid through. Now, do you think that person's competition is going to keep quiet? No. So if that business owner's competition might very well complain about this business to Google, and that's when the human beings in Google are actually checking the website. And if they do not meet the Google regulations, they will not show up on the results. Okay, they are very strict about it, and the regulations are becoming very stringent, I should say. Okay, how do you check what Google bots see? Again, there is a URL for that. This is this long URL here, search.google.com/search console. Again, you don't need to copy this down. I've given it to you. You just have to click on it. And when you click on it, you will be brought to this page, which is the search console. So here you would be able to go type in your website address, the www.yourbusiness.com or .net, and Google will basically tell you if there are any problems at all on your website, and it'll tell you how to rectify these problems also. And what about page by page by page? Somebody here has an e-commerce website, and all those product pages in your e-commerce website, each one has to be checked out and make sure that you are complying with the Google regulations. Okay, if you do not comply, you will not show up on the searches. It's really not, some secret sauce that some people know, and that's why they're coming up on the searches. Honestly, Google tells you everything in their google.com, the blog site. Actually, there's like pages and pages of information. Every time they make a change, they tell you on these blogs, and you can subscribe to these blogs and it'll come to your email, so you will always know about it. Yeah.
Quick question. So a comment that you made on the e-commerce site, if each product does not comply, you will not come up. Is it the company or that particular product?
That particular product will not show up, but your whole website can be penalized. Okay, but that is like a very gray area. Why did they penalize the whole website as opposed to this particular product, which did not comply with the Google regulations? That's a very good question. There are Google supports people, They do answer phone calls. You can call them, you can write to them, and they will explain it to you. So it's not like in those days where they never had a phone number and it was impossible to talk to anybody in Google. It's not like that anymore. So they have changed quite a bit, and there are people sitting there to talk to you. So don't worry about it. So don't get frustrated. You can call them and ask them. You can ask them, how come my website or this particular product is not coming up on any of the searches, even though I'm typing in the exact product name in this Google search criteria, it still doesn't show up. Why? They will explain it to you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Into a question, isn't it true that Google is searching not websites, but by individual pages these days?
Yeah, it is. It
So,
is.
so so each page is like its own separate document to Google.
Yes, you got it. Yeah, it's basically archiving each page. Let's say you have a large e-commerce website and you are selling pet food on few of the pages, and then you are selling furniture in a few other pages. In those days, Google used to penalize the whole website, saying that, okay, what are you trying to do? Okay, you cannot sell pet food and you cannot sell furniture too on the same website, which was very frustrating for marketing people like us. But now, after explaining to Google 1,000 times, Google has focus groups. I used to belong to one of the focus groups. So they get information from the public and marketing people like us. So we told them, okay, you guys are pretty much clueless about how small businesses work. You need to understand that some person might be selling pet food and they just started another business, or it's under the same umbrella, they are selling used furniture. Who is that illegal? No, not really. So you can sell whatever it is you want, but now Google is penalizing you because I decided to sell pet food and furniture on the same website. But they do not do that. And that is the reason they started archiving individual pages now. But remember, Google code has evolved from when, way back when, 1994, actually. So some of the old code is still running. Okay, it's just like Facebook, actually. Why did Facebook go down 2 days ago? Because the whole website was just a female rating website, and it has just evolved into something else. Business owners use Facebook now, right? But it's the old code which is still running. And so sometimes the whole website may be penalized. That's when you call Google and explain to them. I will show you a form for that. I do have that actually. It's a very common question for every small business owner. Google hates me. Why? We get like 1,000 phone calls to SBDC with so many small business owners telling Google hates me. You know, I don't show up on any of the Google searches. Why is that? You know, and their website looks nice, and they're marketing on Facebook, they're posting on Instagram, and they have videos on YouTube, and still sales is zero, and they don't show up anywhere. Why? That may be because their website may have been penalized. Why was it penalized? One of the very, very, very common mistakes is the unnatural links from your site. Google loves busting webmasters for selling links. I used to be a webmaster. I started this business 22 years ago. So I know a lot about this business. Even though I was a programmer in my previous life, 1999, I started a website company because we all got laid off in 1999. The world changed in Silicon Valley. This type of websites was not related to my programming work at all. So I learned everything on my own. One of the things that we used to do was after we developed the website, how did we make sure that Google finds this website and gives it as a result? Because there were very few algorithms, the code running during those times. One of the algorithms was, let's say the pet food lady. I'm going to pick on you today because it's just easy to give it as an example. So dogpetfood.com, right? The website looks beautiful. We are selling all this dog pet food. Now, what I can do is take that website and go list this website on under some food magazine that is online, and I can go link it to that magazine. Okay, I can also go link it to some other food website which is not really related to the pet food, but the only common theme is food. The dumb robots don't know that pet food is not really connected with human food. So when somebody searches for food, it just looks at pet food, right? It's very likely this website would show up as a result. That was a hole in the programming, but we webmasters figured it out. So the pet food website will always come up on the searches, but Google started penalizing that kind of work, saying, what are you guys doing? You're not supposed to do that. So until even today, some of the marketing companies still do that. Why do they do that? Because it's easy to get traffic to your website. But there are algorithms running. If it finds out is what I'm saying, it doesn't always find out. If it finds out, your website will be black marked and you will have a very tough time coming up on the searches. I hope everybody's understanding what I'm saying. As women, we're all very good at filing system, right? So we may file the pet food under some other type of health food, some other type of organic food, some other type of vegan, plant-based food, but it's food. It's all under food, okay? But they call it, it's actually, I would say it's a mistake to do that from a Google point of view. You're not supposed to do that. That's one of the reasons why many of the websites have been penalized. And you can find this out from Google itself, from the link I gave you previously. So partial matches, they call it partial matches because it comes under the huge umbrella called food, and it's affecting only certain portions of your website. But sometimes the whole website will be penalized and you will never come up on the searches, okay, until you rectify it. Any questions? It's important you understand this actually.
This is something that would happen when you're creating the website, and if you're
no, it's after. It is after you create the website and when you're marketing the website.
Right. So it's links that you would put in on your website to other sites.
You would, in other sites, you would be putting your link.
Oh, okay. So you're putting the link to your website on other sites to get more traffic. Okay. So basically, you have to be very careful on what categories of other sites you place links to your site.
Yeah. Let's say an example is a church website. Sometimes in a church website, they have business owners directory. And in that directory, there might be a classification category called food. And under food, unless there's a subclassification for dog food, and if your website is under that food classification, the stupid Google program thinks it's deceptive.
Oh, jeepers.
So,
and they still do?
Yes, that's why I'm saying there are like old programs. This is why there's a whole group of people they've hired in Google sitting there. They manually rectify this if you call them. So, but it's important for you to understand there is something like this. Unless you know there's something like this, what are you going to call Google and tell them, right? So that's the education that we're giving you right now. Yeah.
This is, thank you very, this is fascinating because I took a whole digital marketing course last spring, but it was directed to corporate and companies and stuff. And I was learning about Google Analytics 3 and Google Analytics 4 and that stuff. But
yeah,
nothing about this kind of small, nothing about this ever came up.
Yes, that's why SBDC is helping very small business, micro business owners who have no clue about this, because big companies, corporations hire large marketing companies. They know about this. I knew about this, right? Because I own a marketing company, but you know, the micro businesses out there do not know about this actually. But Google keeps telling us that, why aren't these people calling us and telling us this? We can rectify it for them. Then we told them that they don't even know that they've been penalized for this, and they don't even know that they can call Google and rectify this.
Oh my God.
Then they said, well, it's up to you to go and educate the public. So yeah, so
I
that's
have
what
a
we're
question.
doing.
This is Andre. I have a question.
Mhm.
My
ahead.
question is, does this type of thing happen if you are on an e-commerce platform like
Yes.
Shopify?
Absolutely, it
Oh,
does
okay.
happen. Sometimes it happens unknowingly to you, because there are many marketing websites out there that will take your website and just archive it randomly on their website, because they get traffic through that. Some of them are genuine, some of them will benefit you, but you should know the ones that do not benefit you. So that's why when you go to this URL I gave you, Google will let you know if there are bad links that are associated with your business and with your website.
Okay,
So,
thank you.
yeah, Google helps you with that.
Now, this is fascinating because I was only aware that if you can't figure out how to get on the first page of a Google search, the chances of people finding you are nil. I didn't realize that there were things in the algorithm that were preventing, even if you type in the exact address, the exact product, that you still can't get there.
You
because of
cannot
things like
get
this.
there
Wow.
because there are regulations from Google, and Google is basically trying to be the good cop. So they are basically saying, you know, don't do all these illegal things. But our argument is, how do the people know that it's illegal, right? So they don't even know. So, but that's the problem here. But that's the way it is. That's how it's going.
And as you said, the major corporations and the big marketing firms and stuff, they all know this stuff, so they know what to do to look for. It's all the smaller companies that have no clue.
Yes.
Which is a large proportion.
That is 88% of America are the small business owners, actually. So
wow.
Yeah. Okay, this is another big one that many micro business owners won't even know about, actually. So what is user generated spam? You mean Google is watching me? Yes, absolutely. Google is watching you. You know those daily spam emails offering cheap SEO and page one results. First of all, page one results. What do you mean by page one? Most people are looking on their phone. Is there a page one and a page two and a page three? No, there is no more pages anymore. And also the results are more personalized, because when I am searching, when a farmer is searching for apples or apple, it's very likely that he is not going to be looking for the Apple products, which is the electronic phones and the iPads and the Apple products that most of Bay Area is searching for. 99% of the world is looking for the fruit apple to make an apple pie. This was a big problem with Google, right? Every time you go and Google Apple, you can do it, actually. How many times the Fuji apples show up? People have forgotten there's a fruit apple, right? So from the user-focused feedback that they got, they started making the results that people get more and more personalized. So when a farmer in Montana or somewhere in the Midwest is searching for the word apple, Google already knows that man is searching for the fruit apple and not the Cupertino company apple. Okay, so that's how the personalized results are changing slowly. Now that affects when somebody comes and tells you, work with me, I will make your company come up on page 1. Does that even make sense to you anymore? Page 1 for who? Page 1 for what word? That's what you should be asking. Okay, so it's usually found in forums, comments, guest book pages, user profiles. The penalty forms come in 2 forms again, partial matches and site-wide matches. What do I mean by this? Remember, every company also has competition. I'm the type of person who thinks everybody is good and all the competition is good also, and nobody has any competition, and the world is rah-rah, happy, and everybody is fine and living in harmony. But that is not the case. There are people out there who may want your sales to go down. How do they make your sales go down? So you can go into any one of these public forums and comment sections and guest book pages, and they can throw in like a very spammy comment about your company there, over there. This is again a very big problem that Google is trying to address. Right now, it is not being addressed actually, so you should watch out, but they will address it in the future. So the problem is when somebody else tries to hurt you by putting spammy messages in somebody else's guest book page and somebody else's forum and somebody else's comment page, it hurts your website. You will get a black mark because Google thinks, oops, you were very spammy on that forum. You try to sell your products in that particular forum. When everybody is talking about something else, you try to put the sales hat and try to sell your products to these bunch of people who are not even interested in your product. How dare you, right? So that one of the codes says, okay, I am going to punish you for that. And you will get a black mark, okay? This is something that everybody should be educated on also. Now, going on comments, forums, guestbook pages, user profiles, does it really hurt you? No, there are some good things that can happen also because Google does want you to be walking around on the net and talking to people on these forums. But the way you talk to these people is in a very educative manner. So if it is going to be in the business forum that pertains to your business, and as long as you're helping somebody, if say, let's take the dog food example again, if it's a dog food forum and you happen to be on this forum and somebody is saying out there, hey, my dog seems a little tired, you know, I wonder why this food is not working. And if you say that, well, you know, I do have a product that is very protein rich, it may work for your dog, I don't know, you may want to give it a try. That is not spammy though. Okay, Google likes that. So it's such a fine line between marketing and actually being spammy and in your face sales. That's when they penalize you. So that's something everybody should understand. So how do you fix it, right? So now, okay, you've got a black mark. And how do you fix something that somebody else wrote something spammy about your company? So you need to identify the pages where users can leave comments and advertisements posing as comments. You've seen it all the time, I'm sure, on the web. Comments that include irrelevant links and spammy usernames like cheap Viagra. When you use usernames that people cannot, that Google cannot recognize, and when you use these very spammy usernames, that's when you get a black mark also, because they call it authoring the content. Authorship is very important for Google. If you try to hide behind this veil and you are trying to spout out all this information behind this veil, and Google cannot even find out who are you, that's when it gets mad. Okay, so first the machine will pick you out, and after the machine picks you out, they'll give it to the humans to check it. And if the humans check it, yeah, you know, they're trying to sell all the spammy stuff everywhere, then Google will get mad and then give you a black mark. Auto-generated generic off-topic comments. This used to happen on the internet all the time. Nowadays, it doesn't happen as much. Why do you think? Because Google is regulating, because Google is policing. That's why you don't see this anymore. The internet, the Google searches itself is much cleaner now, actually. You won't even find the X-rated websites anymore. Before, previously, if you remember, you know, there used to be a lot of X-rated content that used to come up for certain keywords. You will not find it anymore. It won't come up unless you specifically search for that. That's why. Remove all spammy and inappropriate content. Prevent unmoderated content from appearing on your website. So if you have a forum on your website, if you have some sort of user-generated content on your website, how do you prevent that? You should be moderating it. And requesting a review, that's a big one too. So reviews, just like Yelp reviews, you know, sometimes when you open up the review section on your website, it's very scary sometimes. And there might be some people who say not so nice things. And that's like a red flag also. Have I lost everybody, or is everybody there, or are they snoring, or?
Still here.
Okay.
Oh, here.
Taking
Very,
notes.
very
Right.
interesting.
Okay, thank you. Google will punish me if I talk about politics. That's a new thing right now. So try not to talk about politics, guys. Just stay clear away from it. Have your opinions to yourself within your four walls. You don't have to share it on a public forum, especially if you own a small business, okay? Because that can hurt you. So this COVID-19 came, and then so many people were talking about for the vaccination, not for the vaccination, whatever, you know, keep your opinions to yourself. There was one guy actually who stopped saying COVID-19 in his podcast and in his social media. He started saying the cervasis sickness. Why cervasis sickness? Because of corona cervasis, right? So people who were listening to him understood what he was talking about, but that was the only way he found that Google will not remove his content. Google will remove his content, just like Facebook will, and other social media platforms will. So Google forbids publishing any content that might directly lead to serious and immediate harm. You know that. So it's all over the news. So please say things that are educational content. If I'm going to only talk about your business, I'm not going to talk about personal stuff. So only educational stuff about your business. This applies to both people and animals. This is a pretty broad statement from a marketing person. Yes, what do you mean by that, Google? Why are you making such a broad statement? But it is what it is again, you know, and frankly left me scratching my head. YouTube does a much better job of defining dangerous content. If you go and look at YouTube, or for all the do's and don'ts, it defines what you can do and what you cannot do on YouTube. But general google.com does not have any section like that. They just say, okay, you know, just you cannot do harm to other people. A very general statement they put up. It is a safe bet that following the standards found at YouTube Help also apply to Google News and Discover. So that's what we tell. Just go to Google YouTube and see what are the things that you cannot do. This is true for people in the healthcare business. There are, or even the any type of food business. There are many things that you can do and you cannot do. Very dangerous. And you may ask, what are some of the examples that Google hates? Tell me, what are the examples? So here are some examples. This is all straight out of the Google blog website that they put out. I did not make up all this stuff. Okay, I'm going to give you the site where you can go see all this stuff. There's literally like document after document that you can read for a lifetime about this. Eating disorders is one, which is a huge problem because, you know, we have so many clients in SBDC who are actually like health therapists. And in the content, we do mention anorexia, we do mention eating disorders, but the way we write the content has to be very, very sensitive about the Google regulations. And it can be penalized because the robot really does not know what is it that you mean when you say imitate anorexia. Because remember, the robots are reading this content very differently from the humans. And that is one of the reasons Google has hired a bunch of humans too after the machine picks up all this stuff, because it became a huge problem and people were fighting with Google. But when you write the content, you have to be mindful of, you know, if you're in the health industry, do not give any connotation about if anorexia, has it helped some people? Never ever say that, because that's it, your website will disappear. Okay, and it's so hard to bring it back. And it may have helped, this eating disorder may have helped some other health issue that they might have had, which would have been a true statement actually. But Google would have removed your website. And we have go through hell talking to Google, you know, explaining to them that, okay, that's not what we meant actually. We were trying to make a point actually, and that's why we said it in such a manner. So eating disorders are characterized by abnormal or disturbed eating habits, which negatively affects a person's health. And that in Google's language is a no-no. Violent events, we know that. We as women especially, we know that, okay, we are not supposed to be promoting violent events. But unknowingly, from a content perspective, you might have described some violent event in your content with some other context that the machine misunderstood, and boom, your website got penalized. So in those type of cases, you need to call Google and explain. Instructional theft or cheating. So again, Google police will be after you for this, and it's so hard to bring your website back into the searches because you cannot tell people how to steal tangible goods and promoting dishonest behavior. Now, an example is we had a SBDC client who was a locksmith, and we had content in that locksmith website about picking locks. When a person gets locked out, how do you get into your own home? Oh my God, Google penalized that website and his website disappeared. And we had to call Google and explain to them saying, oh my God, we are not teaching people how to steal. We are making a point here because if a person gets locked out, how do you open the door, you know? Then they understood and they said, okay, you know, we will remove this penalty. Okay. And clickbait.
Can I ask a quick question?
Yes, absolutely.
Thank you. I was just wondering, you know, my kids watch these YouTube videos that really annoys me, but basically it's these couple of girls that show kids how to, like, when you said I know you said cheating and stealing, but there's these really like colorful videos of, they look almost like little Barbies, that are teaching kids how to, like, say if you're in the classroom and you want to bring a snack, but your teacher does not allow snacks in the class, but here's a way to hide your favorite gummy bears inside this little crayon box, and they look like crayons. And, you know, I've told my kids to stop watching those after actually watching one with them. But with that, how is that?
You complain to Google. Yeah, as a parent,
okay.
You can complain to Google, they will disappear. I think you
now
should.
that I know my power, I definitely.
Yeah. I think you should, because that's not good, actually. Yeah. So yeah, you can complain to Google. Google will check it out, and then if they think it's inappropriate content, they will remove it from YouTube.
Is there a hotline to complain to them or something, or?
Yeah, just Google, how do you complain to Google?
That makes sense.
And yeah, different email IDs show up, and there are forms that show up also. And there are URLs that I'm going to give you too. So those are all good forums to complain. What is a clickbait? You've all seen clickbait. Some people may not even know that it's a clickbait. And yes, Google will punish you. You might have seen on your social media feeds, or even the news feeds that you get on your phone or on Google, where it says you may have liver disease if your feet are swollen, like this. And they have this horrible looking picture, which, oh my God, I think my feet are swollen. I do have liver disease, right? So now that is a clickbait, and Google hates that. And yeah, it would have appeared, but please don't click on those things, because if you click on it, that's a completely different subject, actually, because Google is actually watching on what you are clicking. So, but try not clicking on these type of links, but it will disappear from Google. And yes, you can complain to Google also, saying, what is this type of health content? It's not right. So marketing people sometimes will write content for your business, for your small business, which seems like a very good idea to write some sort of header like that so that people will start clicking on it. It's a very dangerous situation. Sometimes it works. Okay, it does. I would say it works because as a micro business, let's say that the pet food example again, say that 10 ways your dog can prevent your dog from getting cancer. And instead of an article, genuine scientific article about cancer and dogs, you are sneakily putting your product into this article. That's when they get upset, actually. So they basically say, this comes under advertising. This is how the whole world advertises, I would say, because you get the people's attention first. And once you get the people's attention, you basically give a plug-in to whatever it is that you want your target market to listen to. But now it's called clickbait, and you get penalized for that. Like I said, it's a fine line. So discover policy violation, misleading content. There is a fine line between clickbait and misleading content penalty. That's why if you think, you were on the right, you were not really misleading people, it is ridiculous, you need to call Google and explain to them saying, hello, I am trying to sell my dog food. How do you think I can get people's attention? If unless I get people's attention, I'm not going to be able to even talk about my dog food to this targeted audience, right? Which is a valid point from a small business point of view. So you need to call them and tell them that is not a clickbait, and that is an article that you wrote. And yes, it may prevent some problems in this dog because I believe in my dog food. And I think, it may prevent because it has prevented 20 other dogs already. Yes, that is a valid argument. And once you argue like that, usually they do remove the penalty. Tricking users to engage by promising one topic or story. Now that is wrong. There are people who deliberately do that. Try not doing that. But delivering something else crosses that line and is considered misleading. See, most of the big companies do this. Most of the large marketing, New York advertising companies do this. But when they do that, does it hurt the small business owner, the micro business owner who's trying to sell, 10 bottles of food? Yes, it does hurt us. And Google needs to know that. If that happens to you, please complain and get the penalty removed. So this is the URL, support.google.com/webmasters/answer. Again, you don't need to copy this down. We are going to send this to you. Review and remove any content that even remotely appears to violate the Discover policy. What is this Discover policy? It is there on this particular URL, which is what Google says it's the Discover policy, okay? Because it's discovering, the machines are discovering content that is misleading to the general human being out there, is what they say. So that is a Discover policy. After completing your review and making necessary edits, navigate to the Google Search Console and then request a review. You can request a review. As with any reconsideration request, be upfront and honest. Explain how the error occurred. Basically, bow down to Google and apologize, and what specific actions have been taken to prevent a repeat. Per Google, you will need to provide evidence of changed editorial practices, including a new editorial guidelines, a new editorial. This is all nonsense for a 1% or 2% business. Look at how they've written this. Really, editorial guidelines and an editorial board. Excuse me, I am the only person in this business. I don't even have time to feed myself and bathe myself, and you want me to write all these guidelines now. But in our favor, Google supports micro businesses. So the minute they hear from you, it's very likely they'll remove the penalty. So they are partial to us. So that's the good news. Okay. These reviews, negative Google reviews, you should know, first of all, these Google reviews exist. Some business owners don't even know where to look for these Google reviews. It suddenly shows up in the Google Maps section. Okay, so when it shows up under your address, when somebody's searching for a business, the maps section, there are little pointers in the map, where in a local map, it might show the name of your business. And when the mouse goes over that little pointer, the Google reviews show up right there. It shows up in the Tesla cars, and it shows up in all the cars that is connected to the internet now. And small business owners are very surprised. Oh my God, I didn't even know that these Google reviews existed about my business. Are there any bad reviews here? And if you find a bad review, a negative review, which you think is not right, you can contact Google and say, hello, I don't even know who this person is. I didn't even do business with this person. This is a fake review, and they will remove it. Okay. But it's important to be informed. So here is an example of, how not to fool Google. You cannot fool Google, people. So how do you fool Google if you do not know already? Because marketing people like me used to do it long time ago, long time ago. Yes, I was a thief, Google thief, but we didn't know it was wrong at that time, actually. So what we used to do was list our phone numbers without substantial added value. Basically, we created lots of phone numbers through the Google phone and through other internet phones, just to make the micro business look much larger than it is. Because the logic behind that is, if you look larger, more customers will come to you, because your business is not really one tiny one-person business or two-person business. You are a big company now with so many phone numbers. So that was the logic behind it. But Google said, oh my God, please don't do that. We will penalize you. And blocks of text that list cities and states that a web page is trying to rank for. Now, this was a big problem in those days, because the way Google wrote its code, it was looking at the address of the company. So let's say your business.com is located in Fremont, California, and your website will show up only when people are searching in Fremont. But your clients actually came from Oakland, they came from Berkeley, they came from Hayward. When people search in Oakland, your business never came up. Massive headache, right? So what did we marketing people do? So we wrote content there saying, we also do business in Oakland, Berkeley, comma, Hayward, comma, El Cerrito, comma. We wrote all the cities, and boom, you started coming up on all those cities. Now, Google basically said, okay, You cannot do that. Your business is located in Fremont. Just have that one address. We are not stupid. We know that you get clients from whole Alameda County. So we will take care of giving you as a result. So now when we list these cities, they actually penalize us and give us a black mark. So if your website has that, remove that. Okay. And repeating the same words and phrases so often that it sounds unnatural. For example, we used to do this a lot in our content. One example is we sell custom cigar humidors. Our custom cigar humidors are handmade. If you're thinking of buying a custom cigar humidor, please contact our custom cigar humidor specialist at custom.cigar.humidors.example.com. We did that all the time. And we were able to get through this code and we will come up when somebody's searching for custom humidors. But Google said, if you do that, it's a huge penalty. We will just remove your website from any kind of search possible and you shall be punished. So if you write content like that, remove it and please revise your content. Okay. Google knows you copied and you will be punished. Everybody used to do this too. You cannot do this anymore. Some examples of scraping include sites that copy and republish content from other sites without adding any original content or value. So when we develop websites, when I used to personally develop websites for clients, when I ask them for content, they will just go to somebody else's website, copy paste it in a Word doc, and then push it to me. And I will basically put it on their website because I never really checked to see if they really wrote it or they got it from somewhere else. But Google knows now. Because they have all these machine learning running now, they know exactly where you got the content from and your website will be penalized. Sites that copy content from other sites and modify it slightly, right? So if you get ideas from other websites because you have this writer's block now and you're not able to write, it is only natural to go to the website, to go to other websites and take all this content and change some of those sentence structures and use it as your own content. Well, machine learning has become more sophisticated now, and it knows that you took the content from somebody else and you just change some of those sentence structures. That's a no-no. Okay, your website will not show up on the searches. You will be penalized. Sites that reproduce content feeds from other sites without providing some sort of unique organization or benefit to the user. That means when you are using other people's YouTube videos, when you are using other people's publications, you need to give basically the authorship, and you need to tell them where you got this content from on your website. Then you're okay. Google will not penalize you, but you do have to do that. You cannot just simply reproduce content from other people, even YouTube, for instance, even if it is an educational video, you cannot just put it on your site without really acknowledging where you got it from. Sites dedicated to embedding content such as video, images, and other media from other sites without substantial added value to the user again. So if you are a pet food, if you're selling pet food on your website and you have a video there which is not even related to pet food, then you do get personalized. And to make matters worse, it's somebody else's video, you just put it on your website, then yeah, that's like a double penalty for your website. Okay. Google reads content on all my pages. Yes, it does. So low quality content on some parts of a website can impact the whole site's rankings. So when people ask me, my site is not coming anywhere, but people usually look at the homepage. The homepage looks beautiful, very well written, very well laid out, very nice. But when you go click on some of the product pages, there's hardly anything there. You might have a picture, maybe the picture is of low quality, and then you just have a price there. You haven't even described what this product is. Who is it helping? Now, Google considers that as low quality content. It's like a teacher telling a student, saying that, okay, your content on this website is not good at all. Why are you doing this? So I'm going to give you a F on this page. And if Google gives you a F on this page, your whole site may be impacted. Spam can distract and annoy your users and lower the reputation of your site. There's a reputation for your site. Again, the Google link I gave you, you can find out what your reputation is. If many people are complaining about your products on various review sites, Google will know about it and your reputation score goes down. And you cannot distract people on your website also, trying to annoy them by saying, you buy this, this, and this, and I'll give you this free, right? Those kind of things, for some reason, Google does not like it. We call it advertising. We call it very clever marketing. We call it very smart marketing. Some people go into a MBA in doing this kind of content, saying, okay, this is free, but still give me your credit card number. It is free in small letters for 1 month, but I will secretly start charging you from the next month. They call that, misleading, and Google will punish you. Okay. So Bing actually shoots you down. Here's a little graphic. Those of you can see my slides and you're just not listening on the phone. Here's a little meme. How to deal with a bad student. Google kind of punishes you and says, please don't do that. I just removed your website from the internet searches. And if you want to appear on the internet searches, call me and explain to me, and then I will remove your penalty. But Bing, they say, usually shoots you down and you are dead. Basically, that's what they say. That's the marketing people joke, inside joke. If I pay Google, will my business website show up on searches, right? Everybody wants to know that. So again, I've given you the developers link also, where there's a lot of content about this. Google does not accept payment to rank a website higher. Just because you put an ad with Google, even if it is for $10,000 per month, and you expect your website that is really bad and all the clients are complaining about you on the review sites, you have not even explained your products properly in any of the pages, it does not matter that you paid $10,000 to Google. Google will say, thank you very much for the money. That was very nice of you, but we will not show your website on the searches because you need to fix your website. You need to fix the way you present yourself to your customers is what it's going to say. It'll say, be descriptive, use accurate descriptive titles on your pages. Don't mislead people. Say what it is. And then be complete. Mention everything that you have to offer. Google is smart, but we can't guess what you don't tell us. This is taken from the Google pages, actually. So be careful. How often should I update my website? Here's a meme which says, website is done. I'm all done with the website. So I don't need to go back to my website anymore. All I have to do is market, 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 and leads are going to come pouring in, and my business is going to become so big and I'm going to become a millionaire pretty soon. Really? No. Your website has to be updated. At least people ask me, okay, how often should I update my website? Indu? I usually say try to do it at least once in 10 days, because as small business owners, we have so many things to do. If you're doing it yourself, if you have some other vendor doing it, you just have to instruct them on what to do and they will do it for you. But if you're doing it yourself, then every 10 days, change a little something on the website. So that, why would you do that? Why are you doing that? That is to show Google that you are still alive and running and your business is still in operation and you're still giving these products and services. How many people you know that still has a website going, but they already shut down their business and they have a full-time job somewhere, right? But their website is still up and running. Google does not want to show such websites as results. How does Google know that you're still in operation? It knows that you're still in operation only because you went and updated the website with some relevant content, and you are everywhere else on other platforms talking about your products and services. And that way Google knows, oh, she's still doing good business. She's still in operation. Okay. So keep your site up to date. If you have not updated your site since 1925, that's a joke. It's time to remove the references to Calvin Coolidge. Now, what should you update your site with? People ask me, what am I supposed to say on my website all the time? You keep saying, update my website, update my website. What should I say every 10 days? Oh my God, help me out here. Google gives you some ideas. So they say seasons, trends, you can even talk about your personal snafus in your business, some mistake you made in your business. People love to read about mistakes that other people made. I don't know why. That's how the human brain is wired, I guess. We like to see other people fail. Okay, so if you were a baker, you were running a bakery, I always tell people, you drop the flour on the floor, write about that, or take a photograph, or take a short video and post it. Your website will be shown on all the searches when people are searching for bakery and baked goods. Okay, that's just a tip for you guys. How often should I update my website again? So use text. Don't put your site content on site content or page titles only in images. So if you have a ton of images and videos only, it's a good idea to have some textual content also. Google doesn't understand as easily as text. It's still getting there. It does recognize pictures and it does understand videos by the transcription code that is running, but we are not there still. Most of the code is still reading the textual content that is there on your website. So make sure that you have a lot of content. You may think that the website looks, oh my God, so much content is there. It looks very crowded now. Who's reading all this stuff? Who has the time to read all this stuff? But it does help in the searches. Get referrals. What do I mean by that? This was the links I told you a long time ago. Let's say your church website again, right? If the church website directory is set up in such a manner with categories that are set up in a correct Google regulated manner, if your website and your business is listed in this particular directory, we ourselves, LocalBizNetwork, is a directory also. We are Google partners actually. So Google gave this Google partner status for certain marketing companies that are very ethical, and they teach small business owners the correct way of Google regulated content. So we have this crown that says Google partner. So we are a directory also. So if it is a Google authenticated site and your website is listed on this directory, then it is okay. We call that referral sites because people come from that website to your website, and that is a good thing. That's like good traffic. Want your site to do better, but don't have the time? Google themselves say just hire a professional because it's just better. But you should be educated, but you may not have the time to do all this stuff. So just hire a professional to do this.
Indu, question on that.
Yeah.
Number one, how do you vet the professional, and what should it cost to hire a professional to do this? I mean,
it's a very good question, actually. I usually tell the people, the small business owners, find out how many years of business they've been in first. The longer they've been in business, more than 10 years, more than 15 years, generally, they are a good ethical company. They are still around. They have many, many clients. Many people are happy with them. And they also know what they're doing because they've been doing this Google marketing from the time Google started. So you know that they're educated enough. So that is the number of years is a very good criteria. And how much should you pay? That is a very good question. Again, I actually gave a class on this in SBDC some time ago. How much should you be paying for websites? How much should you be paying for hosting? How much should you be paying for marketing? If you are a micro business and your revenue is, let's say 200K per year, how much should you be spending on marketing? It's generally 1% that you should be spending on marketing. Okay, so that is a general formula that you can use. But what type of marketing, you may ask? That is a very good question. Again, that's why SBDC Business Advisors can help you with that, because some businesses may benefit from Google Ads. Some businesses, I tell them, you don't need to give money to Google at all. They don't need your money. Just leave it, just do other types of marketing that may benefit you. So it really depends on the products and services that you're offering, and you can work with an advisor on that.
Well, I don't mean about marketing in general. I mean specifically for updating the website or making sure that the website is updated. What about services like Upwork or TaskRabbit or things like that, where people, where you can contract for very specific kinds of services or products or stuff?
Yes, as long as you know that what type of change or update you want, if you are informed enough, yes, Fiverr is a very good site where you can tell people, this is how much I'm going to pay you. Can you please go and update this? But if you are not informed enough and you yourself are not sure that you should be doing this, then you should be working with a company that does these develops these websites for a living and markets websites for a living. What is the cost for that? Generally, can I ask you what business you are in? I forgot.
Oh, no. Well, I'm going to be, I'm a fine artist.
Artist, okay. For an artist, let's take an artist actually in an example, because there are like businesses, since I've been in the business for so long, I kind of know the cost. For you, for your type of business, it's generally like $99 per month that you pay for the hosting and the updates on the websites. So when you pay a company $99 per month, they will do all these updates for you for free.
Okay, well, actually the faso.com, which is the fine arts website that I'm going to be putting my site on, they're only $30 a month and they have everything built in, e-commerce, newsletters.
That is a very good deal. That is a very good deal. Then yeah, that is a very good. Less than 99 is the for very small business owners, 99. For larger businesses that have a lot of products, and then you do need some maintenance required for all the e-commerce type of products, you need search engine optimization also constantly going, and that can range anywhere from $300 per month to $800 per month, depending. So yeah.
Interesting. Thank you.
Okay. All right. So impressions. So what is this page is about? How do I know my website is doing well on the searches? How did that line come? I don't know. Sorry about that. Do you know how that line came, Cynthia?
Somebody's playing with annotate, the annotate capability. Up in the view options, drop down menu, annotate. Someone on the call.
All right. I don't know.
Whoever did it, please erase. I don't know if I can erase for you.
Annotate there. How do you raise it?
I think the person who did it, well, you're the host, so maybe you can.
Draw eraser there. There you go.
There we go.
All right. I need to get out of this. Okay. So how do you know your website is doing well? What is impressions? Because Google gives you this report and it says so many impressions, right? What does that mean? That means how many times your site has been seen by someone searching on Google. Seen. How does Google know that your eyes actually landed on this particular information? That's a huge iffy question to me, but that's what Google says. Google says you got 1 million impressions, it says so many people saw your site. So it's not like opening up, you know, the San Francisco Chronicle and there's an ad there. The way Chronicle used to say is, well, we have a distribution of 1 million in this area, so we believe that there's 1 million people saw this ad. Really, did they really actually see this ad, or they're just seeing the newspaper and just they threw it in the trash? That they don't know. It's the same thing. Clicks, now that I believe, right? That is more accurate. If somebody clicks on that particular link that you posted, that's what you should be looking at. How many calls did you get through your website? How many inquiries did you get from the contact form on your website? It may have come from these clicks. If you're not getting any calls at all, if you're not getting any inquiries at all, but the clicks that show that, oh, you got like 10,000 clicks this month. Now that doesn't, it's somewhere something is missing right there. Why are so many people clicking, coming to your website? It'll also show you how long they spent on each one of those pages. But nobody called you for an order. Nobody called you for inquiry, and nobody filled out the contact form either. So then you need to figure out, okay, what is missing? Okay. An average position, we don't say page anymore. We don't say first page, we say position. That's because most people are looking at your website on a handheld device, and that's the position. So Google will give you that. That's the Google Analytics. It is free. So you need to get this, sign up with Google Analytics, and you need to tell your webmaster, if you can do it yourself, you can put this code into your website, or your webmaster can do it easily for you. And then it'll keep track of the impressions, clicks, and average position. And more than that, actually, I just gave you an example of this, but it'll give you more information. If people actually clicked on the phone number on your website, it'll even show you where they called from, and how many people contacted you through the contact form. It'll give you tons of information. Now, you may ask, how do I know Google made a change in its search code? How does Google let you know? They are so big and they are so powerful that it's all there in the central blog. So whatever change they dream about, suddenly they say, okay, what shall we work on today? Why don't we make this wonderful change that will affect all the micro business owners in Alameda County? They can do that, you know. So how shall we tell these people in Alameda County, okay, we're going to affect you. We are going to go to page 10. You know, all of you in Alameda County, you're not going to show up at all. We just made a change to the code. Where do they say that? They say that in the central blog. They do say it, that they made this change. So it's up to you to look at these changes and change the content and your website accordingly. What is the latest change in Google Code? So on September 17th, recently, they made this change. I looked it up on their blog, actually. So last month, we shared about our new system, generating titles for web page results. This is important. It may be a little bit technical for some of you, but it is something that all of you should know. Inaccurate titles. What does that mean? Inaccurate titles really means, you know, if you're selling dog food and the title on top says, you know, plant-based food, for instance, it doesn't really pertain to the dog food, and Google decided, okay, that is an inaccurate title for the content on this page. And another example that they gave was giant stuffed animals, teddy bears, polar bears, and the site name. This is there on the Google Docs, actually, on the blog, actually. So what they mean by this, they're giving like a specific example of an e-commerce website where this person is selling stuffed animals. Under stuffed animals, they're selling teddy bears. Under teddy bears, they're selling polar bears, right? So each one had a title name for teddy bears and polar bears. That's how we used to market. We are so used to marketing that way because that's what Google told us that we should be doing. But on September 17th, they decided to change that. So they are saying Google will understand. You don't need to specify and hit us on our head and give a title for each one of these things and irritating us. We do know stuffed animals is under this site name, and we know that you're selling teddy bears and polar bears. The reason is if you run out of polar bears and that page is empty, our code goes crazy. So don't do that. So we know that you're selling stuffed animals and we will take care of it. You just go do your job. Okay, that's what they're telling us, which means that we have to go back to our websites that are selling, you know, products like these, and we have to go and change the titles on every one of those pages. So these are things, examples I can tell you. If the business owner is not informed enough and only thing they're noting is, well, my phone is not ringing, I'm not selling enough products, I need to increase sales, I wonder why my phone is not ringing, my website seems to be okay, what seems to be the problem? So this might be the problem actually. So somebody has to be informed enough to change that. So how do I sell more products online? Everybody wants to sell something online. I would encourage everybody to sell something online because it is a good revenue that you can build up. Whatever business you are in, try to sell something online because it can be a steady stream of income for you. Google crawls and indexes your e-commerce website as it does other websites, applying algorithms to understand your content and its intent. What is the intent? They carefully word all this. Are you selling good products that benefit mankind? If you are selling products that benefit mankind, you get brownie points actually. Structured data is a standardized machine readable format. This is a little bit technical again for you guys, most of you guys, but again, you know, a little bit of knowledge, it does go a long way in this case. So this machine readable format, okay? So this meme here, it says, is Google a boy or a girl? Obviously it's a girl because it won't let you finish your sentence without suggesting other ideas. You've seen that Google keeps suggesting. So how does Google suggest to other people that you may want to buy this dog food from this person, right? That's because of the structured data that you organized on your website with the Google regulations in mind. So you may ask me then, okay, how do I know how to structure this data in Do? I don't know, you know, I just know I'm selling all these products and I put it under these titles. So what are you talking about? So what Google is saying is, there is something called schema.org. This is the only page which is a little bit technical for you guys, but again, just remember this schema.org. Why is this important? Because this is like a inside information that all the marketing people use. We go to this website when we want to market your business, when we want to market your service and your products. How do we know how to structure it so that machines will be able to read it first and then the humans will be able to read it also? It's all there in the schema.org. What is schema.org? It's actually a collaboration between, you know, it's the community collaboration, kind of like Wikipedia, for instance. So it was founded by Google, Microsoft, Yahoo, and Yandex. And this is how we get our ideas on how to structure when you hire a company to go and do their website, when you hire a company to go and market their products. This is where we get ideas. They even have vocabularies, certain vocabularies that machine reading easily reads, as opposed to other types of vocabulary. One example is the Alexa, actually. When you talk to Alexa about volume, it understands certain things about volume, but when you say play it a little bit louder, Alexa will not understand. You have to, Alexa has a certain vocabulary that it will understand. And same thing with Siri. It's the same thing with your website too. So how does it get crawled? So there's certain vocabulary that you may be able to use. And here's an example. You're going to ask me, okay, what does that mean? What is an example? Give me an example for machine learning uses. And that is, let's say a person searches for indoor garden. When a machine or a human sees indoor garden, immediately you think of lots of plants indoors. But look at the examples here. This is like a recent example that Google has it on their site, actually, on their blog. So when people are searching for indoor garden, all these products with vertical garden products shows up. It never used to show up. Why? Because vertical gardens, the word vertical garden was not associated with the word indoor garden, but now it is associated because they made a change in the code. That's what it means when they say there was an algorithmic change. So you are okay. Immediately the marketing guys will start using, these vertical garden words so that they immediately start showing up on all the searches. And that's how they sell more and more products, because you have to be informed about these words. Now, this is something that you would have seen constantly on the web, like these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 steps on how to start a garden, for instance, 10 basic steps. You would have seen, you can Google right now and see for anything, there's a little area where it says how to area, and it'll say 10 different ways to lose weight, 12 different ways to exercise, 15 different ways to eat right. You would have noticed that. Why? Because Google made an algorithmic change that says, is looking for step-by-step information. So if you have the step-by-step information, educational information on your website, it's very likely you'll show up on the searches. That's a little tip for you guys. Look at what is written here on how to start a garden. It might be very, very basic. That why would people not know this? Decide what you would like to grow. Number 2, choose a location. Number 3, plan your garden beds. Again, but it shows up on the searches and there's more traffic generated to your website. So it's all a mechanism that you use from the Google tips is what it is. And there are 30 different types of rich results. Again, this is important for those of you who are building a brand new website. This is something that you want to look into. I will go over what the second item here is, breadcrumb. But other than that, you should have articles, you should have events, FAQs. You don't necessarily have to have every one of these, but at least a few of these will help in bringing your website in the searches. So event FAQ is like, I like FAQs because the minute you have this FAQ page, you do very well on the Google searches. For some reason, Google likes that. How to, Google loves that. Job posting, I'll go over that in the next slide because they made a recent change under this job posting. So if you have a job opening or a job posting on your website, you will do well. Your logo, of course, your product, and Q&A, they love that. The Google search engines love that. Review snippet, reviews, Google loves that. Video, again, a video that is not stolen from somebody else, but it's the original video. They like that. So this is the breadcrumb. What it means is, again, we women, most of you are women in this class here today. So we are very good at filing system. So if you look at this, basically breadcrumb is another name for filing. So the way, let's say you're selling these shoes, right? So when you sell these shoes, what they're saying is basically file it correctly under, instead of putting it under footwear or even men's footwear. Now you are archiving it under footwear, under men's footwear, under casual shoes, and further filing under this world wear footwear. So normally most small business owners would say under footwear, they would put this product there saying world wear footwear and put the price in the description and expect people to buy it after it shows up on the results. But when you specify even more in their filing system, Google bots are able to recognize this product easily and give it as a result. So that's a little tip for all of you running the e-commerce websites. job posting, like I was telling you, this was done also recently. I think this was done on September 29th. So these are the type of changes that you have to watch out for. So when what Google did was job posting and occupation, when people were posting jobs on their website or occupation, it never used to show up on the Google searches. But now they are relating the word job posting to experience in place of education when degree level qualification is not required, because it's a new thing now in America where you do not need a degree, a formal degree, to get a particular job. So now they've made a change in the code now that will relate the words to certain types of experience levels. Why does that affect you? I'm only saying it for micro business owners. If you have a job posting listing and you post in there saying experience in place of education, occupation experience requirements, and use these words like experience requirements and months of experience, occupational experience requirements, again, do you think your website will show up on the results? You betcha. Again, that's a little marketing inside tip for you guys. That's how you write your content, okay? And are there tools to make use of AI generated content? We are not there yet. You cannot give like a few words and then artificial intelligence will produce this content, like Washington Post produced like 850 pieces of article last year in 2020. None of them were human written. It was all machine written, and it became a huge controversy actually. We are not there yet. So I tell people, try using this grammarly.com if you need help from AI. It will help you write good articles, but the ideas and sentence structure and all that still has to come from you. But you can use this as a tool to produce good content that is original to you, because Google penalizes you if you copy content from other people. So that's a reason you can use this tool. So that's a little tip for you guys again. So 5 tips for creating content. I know it's a lot of information I've been giving you guys, but we want our Alameda County business owners to be informed. So please be informed. So write for human readers. Make your content accessible. That's the Facebook distribution you're talking about. That's a Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube distribution that you're talking about. After you create the content for humans, you have to distribute the content through these various platforms. Get backlinks. I think I went over that with you. It's also called referral links. That helps a lot. Update your content regularly. I went over that also. Use images and video when necessary. Again, you cannot take it from somebody else's site unless you give them, you know, authorship. Otherwise, you cannot use it. Food sector app, Ohlone College actually works with many different business owners, and we know a food sector app that is looking for interns. And we do have a career center where if you are thinking of starting a business, you are not quite sure of the business, what business you should be getting into, this is a good way for you to work in various types of businesses before you choose working in your business, because sometimes people jump into business without much thought, and that's when it can be a very frustrating experience when you work on your own. There are internships available for social media marketing, hiring and working with influencers, or if you are looking for people, we can help you also through Ohlone College Career Center. And I always tell people, be creative, be very creative, because as business owners, you have to be creative. This was a restaurant in India that I went to, very interesting place. So if you look at the bill, it says 000, veg pulav, 0. So you basically do not pay anything when you visit this restaurant. So you get seated at a table, and in the middle of the table, there's an envelope. And in the envelope, there's money in it. So let's say there was $300. you can eat in that restaurant for $300, up to $300. And after you finish eating, you will be given a fresh envelope. It's not mandatory, but whatever you can leave some money for the next person who will be sitting at the table to eat. So that is this restaurant's model, and they are doing phenomenally well. And you have to make reservations like months ahead to eat here. Actually, what a success story. So like that's just an example. Everybody has an opportunity in this world to make it in their small business. Every business is like the lines in the palm of the hand. Everybody is different. So you will all do very well if you focus and if you're creative, actually. And that's about it. So what did you guys learn today? You learned how does the algorithm work, Google algorithm work. You also learned how does Google punish your business, and where do I find the latest changes Google made to its code. I'm going to give you this presentation so you'll get the URL. And you also learned how do I fix my website so that Google loves it. And you also learned how should I write content for my business. Those are the things that you learned today. And the time is 3:12. Oh my God, thank you for sitting through this. Cynthia?
All right. So I put the survey in the chat box below, so please fill it out for Indu's presentation today. And I'll put it one more time. And if you wish to have one-on-one advising or have Indu as your advisor, please go to acsbdc.org and make sure when the intake coordinator calls you, you can request Indu if you need help with marketing or other services. I know she does other things besides just marketing.
Yeah. Thank you, small business owners. Thank you. Thank you. You've all been very patient.
I wanted to, I don't know if everyone's still in the class. I wanted to quickly share an update since we're in Alameda County regarding grants. I recently applied for an AMBER grant and I was actually selected. I'm the only person out of California and I'm out of the Bay Area, so I wanted to tell my Alameda County. It's very, very amazing. Like you mentioned, this group is mostly women. So I wanted to mention this amazing thing that I learned about actually through you guys and the SBA and Renaissance Center. I applied for the month of August and I was their August recipient. Right now they're doing a voting of the winners of each month, and in December they are going to consider if one of the winners for a $25,000 grant. And you basically just, if any of you guys are looking for a grant, I didn't think it was possible. I basically wrote honestly from the heart and I pressed send right before it was due, and they basically ask you, what is your goal for this business and what would you do if you got the money? And I answered that. They did an interview with me. It's on YouTube. I'm like, oh my gosh, I had a sore throat. So anyways, I was just going to share the link with this group.
Yes,
A, to learn
please.
about AMBER grants, and B, just representing the Bay Area. I'm really excited to share the news with you guys. And if you guys have the time, it's a one-click vote. Right now I'm on because it's chronological order, since I'm the August recipient, I'm still showing up on top, but the September grant winner will show up above me pretty soon. But it's a very amazing, and I guess I could say it's a real grant opportunity. A lot of things I got overwhelmed looking for grants, and this is one that actually worked. So
awesome. Congratulations. What business are you in? What business are you in?
It's so you guys will see the name. It's AIM Professional Engineers. It's civil engineering and traffic engineering.
All right.
And AIM is after my kids' names, and it's so I'll share the link and hopefully you guys can share it to the class. That'll be great.
Great. Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing.
Congratulations. Represent the Bay.
That's so exciting.
Thank you. I know. I'll tell you, if anyone's interested, I'm more than happy to talk about what I wrote in my paper or my little statement. because, you know, it's so helpful to hear it from someone else, because they do say talk to other past recipients, but honestly, no one tells you what they wrote and what actually became.
Thank you so much. See, this is women power. We help each other, guys, you know.
Thank you. And let me
Really.
know, is each month they're giving 25,000 grants?
It's actually $10,000 each month, and then the one winner at the end of the year will get an additional 25,000. So me being one of the recipients, I guess I have 1 out of 12 chances. It's like a group of women. It's called Women's Net. It's named after a young woman who passed away, Amber. So it's called Amber Grants. And they're just amazing. They're East Coast based. I'm the only California person, or Bay Area for sure. And they're looking for creativity. I liked your word earlier, and different types of businesses.
Yes,
so I think after a very long time, I was probably the only civil engineer applied, but they are supportive of all kinds of women businesses.
Fantastic, fantastic. Thank you so much.
Thank
Awesome.
you.
Thank you. Thanks for
Hey,
sharing.
Andrew, I made you host. I have 2 other meetings I got to jump to. So I have to go ahead and log off.
Okay.
I'm running late too, but I made you host.
Okay. Thank you, Cynthia.
All right.
Bye-bye.
No problem. Bye, guys.
Bye. Okay, guys, I think it's been a long afternoon, so I let you all go. So like I said, SBDC is here. You know, any type of help you may need, please call SBDC, Alameda County SBDC. Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.